Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, you're right. We got a lot going on this week, so we're going to jump right into it. If I counted right, we have 16 home events, 25 total events. Yeah, really. Starting tomorrow, baseball Bears are at Vandy, 4:30 over in Nashville. Sugar Bears host UNA at 3 p.m. at the Ferris Center. That's a makeup from the postponed game a couple weeks back. 3 o'clock tomorrow at the Ferris Center. Wednesday, the basketball Bears are at home against Jacksonville State, 7 p.m. at the Ferris Center. Thursday, Sugar Bears are at it again, North Florida in the Ferris Center. Tip-off 7 o'clock that night. It gets really interesting Friday. The Michelle Short Memorial Softball Tournament starts at Ferris Field. 9 games total for the weekend. We play Friday at 12:30 against Mississippi Valley and at 2:30 against South Dakota State. Men's basketball hosts Kennesaw State 7 p.m. that night, senior night. We'll be recognizing Eddie Kylud and Jonas Munson. It's a rare Friday night. Their tournament starts Monday, so they backed it up to Wednesday, Friday rather than Thursday, Saturday. Track and field teams are at Liberty at the ASUN Indoor Championships over in Virginia. Women's tennis hosts OBU at 10, Oral Roberts at 1:30. That's on Friday. And baseball's at Missouri State, starting a series at 3 p.m. on Friday. Saturday, baseball Missouri State at 2 p.m. Softball continues the Michelle Short tournament. We play at 10 a.m. against South Dakota State, 12:30 against Missouri State. That tournament does run all day. Track continues at the ASUN Indoor. Beach volleyball opens at Houston, its first tournament, playing Houston Christian, which used to be Houston Baptist, until midway through the fall, which is strange, and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Women's basketball has its senior day at the Ferris Center against Jacksonville at 1 p.m., recognizing Sierra Carter, Kaja Miles, and Jenny Peak. Sunday, baseball finishes up at Missouri State at 1 p.m. in Springfield, and beach volleyball finishes down in Houston, takes on UAB and TCU. And yes, I'm out of breath. Monday, we all take the day off, right? A long, long week. We'll start today with softball. Our softball Bears put together their best start in school history. They won their first 7 games of the season before they lost twice to number 18 LSU. And this hasn't been an easy non-Division I schedule. They played 2 Power 5 schools, LSU twice. We beat Utah 2-0 last Friday down at the LSU tournament in Baton Rouge. We also beat McNeese State in its own tournament the previous weekend. Not an easy place to win, along with Idaho State and UAB. Last weekend down at LSU, we beat Ohio University twice, and then we played LSU twice. On Saturday, we lost 1-0 with some interesting calls down the stretch. I'll leave it at that, and we'll talk to Coach Parsons about that. Yesterday, LSU prevailed 3-1. So we are 7-2 overall against a solid schedule, and we've done that despite an interesting stat that Ryan gave me this morning. We have 6 starters who are hitting under 200 through 9 games. 6 starters, but we're 7-2 with a Power 5 win. We also have 2 who are well above 200. Maddie Young is at 393. Jenna Wildeman is at 344. So right now they're carrying the offense. Pitching staff's been unreal so far. By the way, Jenna Wildeman set the career stolen base record this weekend. She has 103 steals in her career, and basically in 3 seasons of action, because one was a COVID year, and she's played 9 games this year. So basically 3 seasons, she's already set the school stolen base record. We've already had 1 ASUN Pitcher of the Week. Kayla Beavers won that award last week. She threw 17.2 innings, 1 unearned run, struck out 15 against Idaho State. Obviously, easily won that Pitcher of the Week award. Now we get 4 at home this weekend. Go to Louisiana Tech next Wednesday. And then we host the Adam Brown Memorial Tournament next weekend at Ferris Field. Play South Dakota, Omaha, and Iowa. And that's an 11-team home softball tournament. We thought 9 was good this week. There's 11 games next week. Now let's hear from head coach Jenny Parsons.
Well, good afternoon. Obviously, there was some sun down there in Baton Rouge. I don't know how it looked on TV or anything like that when I was getting thrown out if my eyes were glowing. But yeah, that's a different story. But I think I should do this because it probably looks better like that, more even, but anyhow. 2 weeks ago, we played at the McNeese tournament. Had a solid week. We hit better 2 weeks ago than we hit better this week. This week was more about the pitching and defense. McNeese, we beat UAB twice, Idaho State once, and then we beat McNeese State 2-1, which is a big accomplishment because I don't ever plan on going back to Lake Charles, and I'm leaving there with a win. And I've played them a lot of times in my career, from Nicholls State to Central Arkansas, and it's a hard place to win. And they're usually a very good team. So we've been doing it with a lot of smoke and mirrors this year. Our pitching staff has been outstanding. Kayla Beaver, she won Pitcher of the Week 2 weeks ago. I think she just gave up her first earned run, maybe, I think, in that Ohio second game against Ohio. And her ERA is roughly a 1.2. And then Jordan Johnson, my other number one, they're both 1A and 1B. They're both two of the better pitchers in our conference. And her ERA is roughly a 1.4 right now. So when you hit 207 and you're striking out at the rate that we're striking out, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. We play outstanding defense this weekend against some of the best competition we've seen this year. We played Ohio, we played them pretty well. They made 5 errors in the first 2 innings, and that's just a product of what we do offensively. We put the ball in play, we run around, we steal a lot of bases, we put pressure on people, and we made their third baseman play some defense, and she struggled for the first couple innings. After that, we played a very good Utah team. If you know anything about our lineup, we have 7 left-handed hitters in our lineup, and they have 1 outstanding left-handed pitcher. So it was difficult producing some runs and some results against that pitcher, but we were able to scratch 2 across in about the 6th or 5th inning, and that just held on because we pitched really well. And our shortstop, Maddie Young, who also is our leader in offense, if you come this weekend, you'll see a player that has a ton of range, and she is outstanding. She made some plays this weekend that the LSU coach was praising her. So the 2 games against LSU, we played Ohio again. So we played 3 games before we got to play LSU. We basically played LSU a doubleheader. And I think it was by plan for them to do that to us because, once again, I have 2 really good pitchers, and we've played 21 innings prior to we even get to play them. So in years past, we've always played on Friday, Saturday. This year was Saturday, Sunday. We played Ohio, beat them 6-5. We held on to, we had a 6-0 lead or a 5-0 lead going into the 7th inning. They scored 5 runs in the 7th, so we held on to win that game. And then we had a 2-game break and played against LSU that night. The night game against LSU was a tough game. The umpire behind the plate, I don't know if anybody watched the games, but the umpire behind the plate had a large strike zone against their pitchers, Allie Capone. She's an All-American. She's one of the top pitchers in the country, and it's tough to hit. Number 1, she's really good. Number 2, when you're giving her what they're giving her, it's really tough to hit. We had a play in the 6th inning. I don't know if I should be saying all this, but you know how it is. You shouldn't talk bad about umpires, Dr. Davis, right? You know, but here I am. So it's not their fault that we're hitting. It's not their fault that we're hitting 207 as a team. But we had runners on first and second. 2 of our fastest kids on the base pass. The ball hit to center field, between center field, shortstop, and second base. From my vantage point in the third base dugout, I knew the second baseman couldn't get there. I knew the center fielder couldn't get there. So it was all up to Taylor Pleasance to dive and catch the ball. She dove, caught the ball. The umpire called her out. We tried to get a replay because my first base coach, if you know Chris Watford, he's really passive, not an aggressive guy at all. He was in center field arguing immediately, so I'm like, he's never on my side when it comes to right or wrong. So I could say, man, I thought we had that kid. He's like, I had her as safe. I'm like, okay, thanks. Thanks for the support. Anyhow, you can look at the replay. It's all over Twitter, and you can make your own judgments. We tried to do replay, but once you call a player out, it's not reviewable. So I was fed up. I handed the lineup to Coach Lucas, my assistant, and I said, I'm going out here. And I fought for my kids. So, and I thought I did what was right. I had to go to the bus. So Yesterday's game against LSU, it was intense. I will tell you this, the atmosphere was crazy. It was a close game again. It was 1-1. We took a lead in the fourth inning on a base hit from my catcher, Josie Willingham. They took the lead right behind that. In the bottom of that inning, it's 2-1. They scored another run in the sixth inning to make it 3-1, and that was the final score. Once again, it was just it's a tough weekend. We played well. We're 7-2. We're excited about being 7-2. I hope that our bats come alive. We get to play at home this weekend, which is nice because for me, I'm 51 and I'm large, so the bus is not all that comfortable. And I get to sleep in my own bed. But we get to play Mississippi Valley State and South Dakota State Friday. Then Saturday we play Missouri State and South Dakota State, and then we get an off day on Sunday when we finish the tournament. So we're looking forward to being at home and playing in front of our own crowd. So I think is that everything? Yeah, I did. All right. Any questions?
Have you ever had a game start with 3 straight errors like that one did?
No. I thought a couple were hits, but, it's just assuming, but, it was 3 straight errors by one person, so it's crazy.
Do you consider his pitch count? I know softball pitching count doesn't mean as much, or innings, or how do you determine when they can pitch again?
I asked them, are you good to go? Do you have any left in the tank? And it's usually yes, but I was talking to Coach Brown downstairs just a minute ago, and I said, both of my pitchers are either in their 4th year or 5th year, so there's a lot of pitches on their arms, so we try to do our best job during the week when we're not playing to take care of their arms and take care of their bodies. So we played this weekend. Those 2 pitched all the innings. I have 2 other pitchers that haven't gotten an opportunity yet, but they're going to have to pitch at some point this year when we play midweek games. And because right now we don't have midweek games yet, so we have an opportunity to rest the 2 starters, the 2 number 1 pitchers on our team, Monday through Wednesday, almost into Thursday. So they get a lot of recovery. Matter of fact, that's their practice. They come to practice and they do nothing but recovery. So, and they take fungos, ground balls. So, but there's not necessarily a pitch count. We do keep a pitch count, but I try to keep a pitch count in my head about where they're at in practice and stuff like that. So it's 100 pitches in a game is a pretty good game. If you can keep a pitcher underneath 100 pitches, then she'll probably win a lot of games for you. So anything over 100 is a lot extra. Anything else?
What did you say to the umpire?
What did I what?
What did you say to that?
Can you tell us what you said to the umpire?
Well, they came to me and said, hey, the call's not reviewable. And I said, I know, because you've said out. Number 1, I said, I don't know how you missed that call. You're standing right on top of it. It rolls up between her arms. And then the little umpire that's behind home plate that struggled all day. And I only call her little because she's shorter than me. She comes and gets in between and says, Coach, you have a warning already. I said, I don't have a warning. I said, my assistant coach has a warning. And she's like, it's a team warning. I said, well, you stop talking to me because you're terrible already. It's not your fight. And she said, you're gone. And I said, yes, ma'am. So, but yep. That's the synopsis of what happened. I'm sure I said other things at the top of my voice. So anyhow, that's all I have. Anything else? We good? Sweet.
I'm pretty sure that's the clean version of what went on.
I said no.
The edited,
Well, no F word.
like I said, I've been around Coach P before. I know where that's going. Our baseball Bears took 2 out of 3 from a very talented Southeast Missouri team on opening weekend at Bear Stadium, a team that won the Ohio Valley Conference last year and made an NCAA regional. We lost the opener 11-3 on Friday. We had 3 errors, not all in a row, but still 3 errors. Came back and won a very well-pitched game on Saturday, 3-0, and then broke out the bats yesterday and won the series with a 13-4 win. Saturday's win, junior Jesse Barker from Benton and sophomore Tate Busey combined on a 3-hit shutout. Allowed just 3 singles all day. Barker struck out 9. Busey added 2 more Ks. They combined to walk just 2 in the game. That's going to win you a lot of games when you have pitching like that. On Sunday, the Bears knocked out 16 hits, scored in 5 different innings. Junior center fielder Drew Sturgeon at the top of the order went 3 for 5, had a double in his second home run of the weekend. The interesting story yesterday was UCA's starting pitcher. Noah Argenta started 47 games last year as our catcher. Starting catcher, 47 games. Hasn't pitched in a game since 2018 in high school. Not at UCA, not in junior college, not since high school. He goes out yesterday, goes 6 innings, allowed 1 hit, struck out 3, walked 3 as a weekend starter. Oh, and he was behind the plate Friday and Saturday too. So not like he had the weekend off and then pitched on Sunday. He caught 2 games and then pitched on Sunday. Pretty unique story. We do play at Vandy tomorrow, as I said. They're ranked 9th or 10th in the nation, depending on who you look at. As usual, they played 5 games in the Corvallis Regional last year in the NCAA tournament. Not expected to be any less of a team this year. Then we travel to Springfield, Missouri to take on Missouri State. Always a tough matchup. 3-game series this weekend. Next home game is next Tuesday versus Memphis at Bear Stadium. Now let's hear from head coach Nick Harlan.
Well, congratulations to Jenny on a great start. That's no surprise. I mean, she's a great recruiter, great coach, and a lot funnier than I am, so I'm going to have to start going first. I got more of a serious personality. My wife's here with me today. She probably wished I was a little funnier. But my wife is here today, very thankful for that. She is a huge part of our program. There's so many things in a program that go on behind the scenes. And there's some coaches that are here that understand that. Nate clearly understands that. But things like Valentine gifts that the head coach doesn't think about, or serving Sunday breakfast to the team, or little things that just add to the experience and to the environment. And she does so many of those things, and that's very helpful for us. So we want to create an atmosphere where it truly feels like home. That's what this place is to us, and we want to create that atmosphere for people that come and play for us. So very thankful for her. And we all know that I can't do my job at the level that I want to do my job at if it isn't for you. So I'm very thankful for you. But very big picture, very pleased with the group this weekend. SEMO is a extremely talented and tough team. They've been to multiple regionals. They have a coach with a lot of experience, and they fight hard for every pitch. And so we knew that coming in, and I'm a firm believer that if you play the game at a high level, you have a chance to beat anybody. That's the kind of the uniqueness of baseball. And so it's not so much for us, it's not so much who we play, it's how we play the game. And I think Friday, they played a little bit better than we did. We gave them a few opportunities and created some extra opportunities for them, and they took advantage of it. And I thought we showed some things that were good. I mean, I told our team we were one swing away from scoring 5 runs on Friday. We were a base hit away. We were a double away from scoring 6 runs, and we had the bases loaded with a guy who is a home run threat up. We were one swing away from scoring 7 runs. So if you can score 5, 6, or 7 runs on Friday, you're going to have a chance to win most of those games. And I thought Trent Gregson did a really good job in terms of just handling the magnitude of opening night. It's a role that he's never pitched in. I thought he was very poised. He came out, good demeanor, threw strike 1, and really gave us a chance. Did a good job giving us a chance and doing something that he's never done before. So I was pleased with him. But for me, this is the time of the year where we're building habits. And in the fall, we implement our systems. We talk about our values. We try to build habits, and I alluded to that last time I spoke. Well, now's the time where we get to see if those things show up in the spring, and then also, you build some habits during competition. And so I was really pleased, number one, with our toughness. In our program, the way that we define toughness is the ability to recover quickly. And so Friday we got beat and didn't execute the game that we wanted to execute. And our guys do a good job of taking in the information, not taking it personal, taking their emotions out of it, accepting what we need to change and the adjustments we need to make, and then trying to make those adjustments. And I thought they did that really well. So they recovered quickly, they came back, and from the very first pitch, our starting pitching on Saturday from Jesse Barker was outstanding. He was aggressive in the strike zone, one pitch after another, kept them on the ropes all day, and stayed ahead in the count. And then we were able to go to Tate Busey, who is a kind of a neat story. Tate's been in our program through some significant innings for us as a freshman, got hurt. It's about 16 months out of surgery. And so we used him out of the bullpen. Could potentially be a starter for us, but used him out of the bullpen, and he came in, and his stuff was strong. It was electric. He again was just same thing, just different pitcher. Attacked the strike zone with just an aggressive fastball, and gave us a chance, and did a wonderful job there, and gave us a chance to win that game. And then on Sunday, same thing. Noah, I think Noah was mentioned. They asked me after the game. They said, were you surprised with Noah and his ability to handle catching Friday, Saturday, and then pitching on Sunday? And my answer was no, not at all. If anybody can do it, it's going to be Noah Argenta. Noah has the mental fortitude to do that. He's strong. He's physical. He's a pro. He operates like a pro. And so that didn't surprise me. I mean, I thought he handled that really, really well, and gave us a chance. And then offensively, what we strive to be, we want to be a team that has the ability to score runs in several different ways. So, and I've said this before, but whatever the game dictates that day, we want to be able to execute it. So if it's a first and third safety bunt, or a sack bunt, or a delay steal, or reading a ball in the dirt, or driving the ball to the yard, we want to be able to do those things. And so I think we showed that we have the potential to be a multi-dimensional offense. Our guys do not give up pitches, and they showed that. They're going to fight for every pitch. It may not always go our way. That's baseball, but they're going to fight for every pitch. And I think that's one of those habits that you have to establish early in the year. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the recovery, the toughness. I wanted to see them fight for every pitch from start to finish. And then, the ability to win a series. That's also a habit. So it was really good to see that. There was a moment in the game on Sunday where you could kind of feel them getting back into the game. We didn't execute some pitches, and I think it would have been really easy for our team to start to panic a little bit. And they didn't panic. They handled that really well. They were poised. We have older players that have a level head, and they understand that you just break it down pitch by pitch. And if you do that, you have a chance to win the game. And so they stayed in the moment. They stayed with each pitch. We didn't panic. I thought that was a great sign of maturity for our team, and I was just really, really pleased with them. So, we head today, 2 o'clock, we head out to Vandy. Excited about that, get an opportunity to play in a great environment. Of course, a national championship program. Arguably, the best college baseball program in the country in the last 10 years. And so we enjoy that challenge because I think any team that plays at a really high level forces you to do the same, and that's how you grow. And for us, it's all about growth. If we can get better every day, we don't ever want to miss an opportunity to improve, ever. Whether it's a midweek game or a weekend game or batting practice or pregame, I look at pregame like it's a practice. I don't look at it like it's warming up. I want to see guys execute and get better, So we don't ever want to miss an opportunity to improve. And so our team has adopted that, and then that's what they strive for. And so I'm very, very proud of them and very thankful to coach them. They're really a joy to coach. I told them the other day before the game, I said, it's kind of like where I go get coffee. You know, the reason why I go get coffee where I do is because I know exactly what I'm going to get. It's hot, it tastes the same, it's consistent, and that starts my day off right. Well, I always know what I'm going to get with this group. When I show up to the office or to the field, nothing to do with their performance. I know what I'm going to get in terms of their attitude, their effort, their demeanor, their body language. When I say hello immediately, hey coach, how you doing? They're just a really, really good group to be around. I'm super thankful to have the opportunity to be a part of it. So with that, any questions? Yes, sir.
With this being the major and minor league start of the spring training, how many UCA players do we have going in spring training this year?
So off the top of my head right now, we have about 4. And Dav, you may help me with that. I think we have 4. Is that correct? 5? Yeah, so 5. But I think everybody now that is in pro ball is on a good path and is trending in the right direction. We have a couple guys that'll start off fighting to make the big league team, and a couple guys are a little bit earlier in their career, but I think they're all trending in the right direction and are representing UCA really well. Yeah. Any other questions? I'll tell you one thing, I'm thankful we have no questions about calculating slugging percentage. Hey, because that created a lot of anxiety in me. Hey, that gave me an anxiety attack. I tried to phone a friend and Kellogg didn't want any part of it. And Steve actually was a big help. So thank you, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. But hey, let's leave math out of it. Let's leave math out of it. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody being here.
Stats on a computer nowadays. I don't have to do that anymore. But I did remember how to do it. One thing about Noah Argenta, last year when he got here, he's from Fairgrove, Missouri. And I thought I knew most of the towns around here, so I looked it up. I didn't know that one. It's about, I don't know how many miles south or northwest or northeast of Springfield. And so I Google mapped it, and it looked real tiny, so I blew it up. They have a Dollar General, of course, because everybody does. And the only other thing that came up was Hillbilly Speedway. So this is in the middle of absolute nowhere, Missouri, where he's from. I don't know much about the town, but they have a Dollar General and a Hillbilly Speedway. So that's all you need, I guess. Our tennis team swept old rival Arkansas Tech in 2 matches on Saturday. As I said earlier, we host Ouachita and Oral Roberts on Friday, 10 a.m. and 1:30. 4 more non-conference matches before ASUN conference play begins. That's on March 10th versus North Alabama right here in Conway. Our track and field teams are headed to Lynchburg for the ASUN indoor, as I said. Coach Josie Weaver's out recruiting today, so we'll hear from him in a couple of weeks on how they did. Women's basketball, our Sugar Bears have had the unenviable task of playing 6 games in what I think is 13 days with the postponement of the 2 UNA games a few weeks ago. Last week they were on the road from Sunday until basically the wee hours of this Sunday. So they were gone for 7 days. They lost a tight one at UNA on Monday, 63-58. A not so close one at Bellarmine on Thursday. Finished up the long road trip with a 78-51 loss at Eastern Kentucky on Saturday. Back home this week for 3, and then 1 final regular season game on the road next Wednesday at Austin Peay over in Clarksville. This week it's North Alabama 3 p.m. tomorrow at the Fair Center. North Florida 7 p.m. Thursday at the Fair Center. And then Senior Day on Saturday, 1 p.m. at the Fair Center. We're really glad to have Coach Sandra Rushing back with us today at Barebackers, and really glad to have her back on that sideline. Coach Rushing.
Thank you, Steve. It is really great to be back, and it's great to see y'all this afternoon. It's been a challenging year for us. This last week, we could have beaten UNA, kind of gave it away, made some mistakes down the stretch. We went to Bellarmine. That was not a good matchup for us. I mean, I'm not lying. There is a girl that it was 6'6", and we know what we have to get. Very dominant, and go on to Eastern Kentucky. That I felt like we had a chance to get them. Now, of course, we're low on numbers, as everybody's aware. Injuries and things throughout the year that just is out of our control. But the kids that are on the floor, I'm really proud of them. They're fighting it, learning how to handle adversity. We were actually they were a lot of fun on the road trip. Just their spirits are up. We've got one at the doctor right now. We're going to figure out what's happening with her. So when I'm going to leave here, I'll go meet her at the doctor. But Eastern Kentucky, I got to tell you the story, and we have laughed about it as a team. We're on the floor, they're on the floor, and I'm at the end down there on the bench, and we're taking the ball out. And one of their best players is standing next to Kinley, who's the sweetest, person you ever want to meet. And she has that soft voice. And it's number 4. She was bent over like, and Kinley looked at her and said, "What's wrong?" She said, "To have 6 people on the team, y'all run it, and y'all run it. Y'all are fit." And Kinley said, "Oh yeah, that's because we run and we work out." But y'all had, it was funny how teams looking at us thinking, okay, because we have 6, we're not going to be able to get up and down the floor. But our girls were pushing it, and they fought hard. We had 30 turnovers, and I knew that was going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue tomorrow for us, but we do have a plan. We'll have practice this afternoon. We can't do much, but really my MVPs are Jordan, Ryan, and Steve-O on the road. They're out there and helping us. And, when things are down, you look for people, to try to say it's going to be okay. And they have been there every step of the way. And I really do appreciate it a lot. Any questions? I'm not long-winded. I don't really have much to say, but just hang in there. Hang in there with us, because this is a good group, and they are fighting it. They are fighting it. No questions?
Well,
Yes.
our statement, I am very proud of them.
Yeah,
They have
me too.
not quit at all.
We're playing hard. We're just missing a couple pieces.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how they can work any harder out on
yeah.
the floor. They just give them everything, so.
And I feel
I'm very proud of them.
thank you. I feel the same way about them. Like I said, I've got to run to the check on this kid. We don't need somebody to be injured or hurt or sick, but I'll know here in just a little while. So y'all just hang in there with us. Thank you.
She's not lying about that girl from Bellarmine. She's a freshman, 6'6". She's been freshman of the week how many times? 8 times this year, out of maybe 10. So, she's dominant. She really is.
One of my kids came out, "Oh, I can't get around them."
No, she,
It was funny to see them. It was Leah going up against them.
oh gosh.
You knew they coming in.
Okay, I'm 6'5", and I promise she outweighs me. So,
But it's all, that's a sweet girl.
yeah, pretty solid player. Men's basketball, since we last met, they picked up a win at home against Austin Peay, then dropped a pair of road games at Kentucky. Last week, they beat Austin Peay 76-69 behind a double-double from Eddie Kailu, another double-double. The game yesterday at Bellarmine in Louisville was moved from Saturday to Sunday because of a, and I quote, championship tractor pull / National Farm Machinery Show at Freedom Hall. So they played the day after there was dirt all in Freedom Hall. So I'm wondering how that looked on a basketball court. Justin Akery, our radio guy, did tweet a picture. We were delayed from the start. They were cleaning the dirt off the field, off the court. So not sure how that works. They don't have an on-campus facility that they play in. They play at Freedom Hall, which used to be Louisville's arena back in the day when Denny Crum and all that era. Nice building, but it's on there. It's kind of like Barton Coliseum in Little Rock. It's on the fairgrounds, and it's used for multiple events. Let's see. Last time I remember that happening, we did that at McNeese State one time. They had a rodeo in their arena, and we had to back up a day to play basketball at McNeese. So you do get bumped back every now and then. The Bears are flying back from Louisville today. They're supposed to land about 11:40, and Brock Witters is going to try to be here for us. He texted me about mid-morning, said they got delayed, as everybody does nowadays on flights. So he will not be able to make it. He did want me to pass along his thoughts about Eddie Kylud, who'll be playing his last game at the Fair Center on Friday night. By the way, he's going to finish his career 5th in scoring at UCA, more than 1,700 points, and 4th in rebounding with over 800 rebounds. So here, I'm just going to read what Brock sent me this morning. He said, while Eddie is obviously a very talented and hardworking basketball player, he's an even better human. It did not take long for Eddie to fall in love with UCA and UCA to fall in love with Eddie. Over the last 5 years, this has truly become Eddie's home. You know he's from Paris, France, so he's not from nearby. Many of you know how easy it is to find Eddie at other events on campus. He generally loves supporting each and every person on this campus. I hope that we can do the same for Eddie with the remaining 2 home games. This young man has completed an undergrad degree in business administration and will be completing his MBA in the coming months. He is a great representation of the family that is UCA. While this season has not gone the way that many of us hoped, for I am very proud of the continual fight and focus this team has consistently had through every bit of adversity. Quote, we've had an average of 2 starters and/or rotational guys out per conference game, which is true. This could be seen Sunday at Freedom Hall in the loss, 67-66 loss. He said, I promise you we'll see the same urgency and desire our final 2 home games as we look to send Eddie out on the right foot. So that will be at 7 o'clock Friday night, senior day. And then they're also home Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. That's all I have today. Anyone have any questions about anything else? We appreciate the support for all of our student athletes. And there's plenty of opportunities to do it this week, so we hope to see all of you out there. Thanks. Go Bears, go Sugar Bears.